Okay, I know what you're thinking. Danny, you're the greatest videographer ever, and we love you, and we love your videos, and we want to see more. But you're also probably thinking, what are you wearing? And what I'm actually wearing is a flight suit, because today we're talking about drones. So before we continue, I have to, like, it's literally about to rip. This thing is super tiny. Oh my God, my arm is stuck. Okay, there we go. It's gotta go up the shirt. So drones are super cool pieces of equipment. I mean, first of all, if I didn't mention, they can fly. They're very sophisticated. Most of them are actually a lot more sophisticated than people actually give them credit for. Like they got, GPS, they got sensors on it to be able to maneuver around different obstacles. With the GPS, it's able to track its location of where it lands and takes off. So if it loses signal or whatever, it'll actually remember where it took off using GPS coordinates and fly back and land on its own. They can track onto different objects and follow them. And they're just really, really cool pieces of equipment. So today I just kind of wanted to show you an overview of what a drone actually looks like along with the remote and how you use it. And then also just kind of give you some information on how to become an actual drone pilot and kind of what goes in, well, everything that goes into that if you want to pursue that avenue. So let's check this out. So this is my drone. His name's Dron, actually, you can see right there. But Dron is a DJI Mavic Pro, and this is actually the first generation one. There's now a 2 and a 3 that literally just came out. Dron has 2 sensors up front, right here and here, and then he's got 2 more on the belly of him just to kind of help it guide it around obstacles. And if you're flying close to a building or a tree or whatever, it'll actually stop before it hits it. So like I was saying earlier, it is called a quadcopter. Obviously it has 4 propellers. With that though, you are able to fold the propellers up just like this, making it super portable. I mean, I have this hard case for it. I actually have another case that is honestly, if here's Dron, it's probably about this big, and it fits, it's really small, and I can just throw it in my backpack real quick if I'm doing a super type of run and gun shoot where I don't want to be lugging this thing around everywhere. This is the gimbal, which is the camera. Sorry, the autofocus isn't going to kick in. It's a little out of focus, but so this is the gimbal. This is the camera that obviously records everything, and that's actually how you see where you're flying to. So it has a dual purpose. This is the controller that comes with it, and it kind of looks like it's incomplete a little bit. That is because you actually connect your phone to the bottom of here. And that is how, and there's an app, the DJI app you open up, and that is how you see where you're flying and what you're actually recording as well. With the equipment that comes with it too, there are also ND filters, like I talked about in one of my other videos. ND filters are basically just sunglasses that you put on your camera lens, and these are actually extremely critical when it comes to drones. So obviously, here they are. They're all different densities, meaning they're, it's either the shade is stronger or lighter, depending on which one you pick and how bright or unbright it is outside. And so, yeah, because drones, the camera on them, they don't really work like normal video cameras. They don't have a very good aperture on them, meaning that is that iris that can open or close. And so it has a hard time trying to figure out what to do with the light that's coming in. And so because of that, how it compensates for not having a good aperture, it actually jacks up its shutter speed in order to compensate for the brightness difference. But once you jack up your shutter speed, that's also going to ruin your frame rate, because your shutter speed should be double what your frame rate is. So your footage may actually turn out kind of funky. It just doesn't look clear, and it just doesn't look right. So ND filters are critical in order to correct for the camera on the drone just not having a very good aperture and whatnot. The batteries on drones, at least the Mavic Pro, the first gen ones, they only last, I would say, roughly 22 to 25 minutes if you're lucky. If you're being pretty conservative with your battery, if you flip it on and you're flying it as fast as it can and going crazy with it, obviously it's going to drain the battery more. So that's why I also think it is critical to buy a couple extra batteries with it too. I actually have 3 extra batteries, which so far have worked out fantastic. I've never been on a shoot where I've gone through all 3 of them and then I was just kind of like out of luck. I've gone through 2 at least and then had 1 left over, but 3 is good. I would say you would need no more than 4 or 5 if you want to be super safe about everything. If you're really looking into getting into drones, great starting point. Good price for the first generation ones. I mean, the second gen ones are amazing as well. Obviously, they're more sophisticated than this one. I would say those ones are gonna be more around 1,500 to 2 grand now. And then obviously there's the third generation ones that are out, and those ones are, you're gonna be spending at least 3 grand if you wanna get into those. So yeah, this is kind of what a drone looks like, and not kind of, this is what a drone looks like. So within the past 7 to 8 years, drones have really helped revolutionize just the video production industry and the film industry. Obviously before drones, if you wanted to get a really cool aerial shot, the easiest way to do it was to go get a helicopter pilot, a helicopter, and then get your cameraman to ride on it and shoot the shot from there. And logistically wise, there is so much that has to go into that. You gotta, find a helicopter, find a pilot to do it. Obviously, I assume helicopter fuel is very expensive, and there's a certain amount of time you can only rent it. So there's just a lot that goes into it, and it'll just be a much more heavily budgeted part of a video or film. But now that drones are around, they're not necessarily cheap, but they're much cheaper than renting a helicopter to get these shots. So let's say you want to become a drone pilot. Let's back up a little bit first. If you just want to go buy a drone and go fly it, you're more than welcome to. There's nothing stopping you doing that. There's no license or anything necessary to be able to do that, just to go fly a drone recreationally, but you do have to register your drone with the FAA. And if you get caught not doing that, there is a fine that comes along with it, and it's super easy to do, and I think it only costs like $5 to do it. So if you do buy a drone, I really recommend you just go online, register it with the FAA. It takes like 10 minutes or less, very simple to do. Now, if you want to fly one professionally, and that means get hired by companies to fly your drone for videos, or if you've taken videos or photos with your drone and you want to sell those pieces, then you have to go get what is called your FAA 107 license in order to do that. So what do you have to do to get your FAA 107? There's a little bit more that goes along with it than just registering your drone. So obviously you have to have a drone first, and you should practice with it and be a pretty decent pilot with it, just know how the controls work and whatnot. And then you have to go study for this test. And so basically the test to become the test is it's an aeronautical test that a legitimate pilot has to take. So you're literally taking a written pilot's test minus getting in an airplane and flying. And it's a lot more difficult than it honestly should be. They kind of make you overstudy for a lot of things, but the FAA just wants to make sure that you know all the rules, just like the pilot suit, even though you're not allowed to fly a drone anywhere near an airport. So it's a little bit of overkill what you have to learn, but once you do it, you'll get your license and you'll just be happy you got it over with. I passed my exam about a year ago, and it took me about a week to study, and then I just went in, took the test. If you don't get your FAA 107 and you decide to go fly for a company or something, or if you get caught selling your footage, there are some significant fines that the FAA will come after you for. I think the base fine starts at like $40,000 or something. So I would highly recommend to go get your license if you are interested in doing that. If you're not really interested in selling your footage or getting paid to do any of that, then just go get a drone, get it registered, and just kind of go have fun with it. So yeah, that is a little video about drones. They're very cool pieces of equipment. You can get some jaw-dropping shots with them that you wouldn't think you'd be able to capture with just such a little small rig, but it's really just the different perspectives that they can give you. You the neighborhood you grew up in, you know it like the back of your hand and what it looks like, but then you can fly a drone up above it and it's just something totally different, and it's so cool to see. And honestly, flying them are pretty fun too. It's like you're playing a little video game or something, so I don't know. But again, little video about drones. Hope I gave you some good information for people who are looking into it or not looking into it. I don't know, I don't really care. You kind of do whatever you want with your life. But anyways, I will see you guys next week. Peace.